Hello and welcome to my final video I'll be doing for Frozen Planet 2, and that is my top 10 list. So this is the top 10 moments that I liked most from the series. There was quite a lot to choose from, there's quite a lot of good stuff in this series, so let's just crack on. So number 10, I have the Wed Seals. So the Wed Seals were something that I kind of forgot about, to be honest, from the first time I watched it, and it's not something I would have been excited for, but they were really good. It was a different side of Wed Seals. The main thing that really stood out was the female fighting with the male and how kind of, violent it was. It was pretty intense, and because you don't really see Wed Seals as being particularly threatening, and they're the ones that Orcas tend to go for because they're the most placid, you don't really expect that kind of behaviour from them, and you also got a really good sense of threat when the pup's trying to get out of the water but it can't because its mum's fighting the male and it needs its mum to give it the push to get out. Really good stuff. I really enjoyed that sequence and I think it will stay with me more the second time round, so yeah, I really like that. Number 9, I've got probably one of the saddest parts of the series, and that is the Adelie Penguins in the last episode. As I said in my last video, Adelie Penguins were a massive part of Frozen Planet 1. They didn't pop up in the series apart from this one episode, and it was really effective at showing the impacts that climate change has had on these animals, because it reminds you so much of that sequence from Frozen Planet where the Adelie Penguins are stealing each other's pebbles, and to see that colony is basically gone now. Really sad. It was very effective. The fact that you got the scientists crying as well really adds to it. Number 8, I've got one of the weirder parts of the series, and that was the dry valleys. Not something you expect to see in Antarctica, but very interesting. Again, I hadn't seen that since Life in the Freezer, I don't think. It was really cool. It's just a really weird alien world in Antarctica. I think the fact that we know Antarctica is the least explored of all the continents on Earth, we do kind of still take it for granted because we just assume it's all ice. No, in fact, there is weirder stuff going on there. There's this weird little desert. Really cool. And that weird crab-eater seal that's there, I mean, how did it get there? No one really knows. It does show you that while we think we've got Antarctica sussed, there are still mysteries there that we haven't really uncovered yet. Number 7, I've got the Caribou. This is another sequence that I liked a lot more the second time round. I don't think we use Caribou as an example of animals that are being impacted by climate change very often, but this was very effective because the tundra is going, and that's something we don't really talk about. We know all about the high Arctic, we don't really talk about the way the tundra's eroding, and because Caribou are the most abundant animals there, they're a very good example to talk about. And you're basically just watching the Caribou have a really bad day, whether it be the mosquitoes, whether it be the rivers, whether it be the bears that are going after them. They're just not having fun, and it did a very good job of showing you that while these animals are really abundant, there's loads of them, they're still struggling, and they might not be around forever. Number 6, I've got the wolves and the bison. While I didn't enjoy it as much as I did from the sequence in Frozen Planet, it is still undeniably brilliant. It's very well filmed, it's technically brilliant. All the shots of the bison and the wolves are great, and you still got a sense that this was a struggle. So yeah, really like that as well. And number 5, I've got the chinstrap penguins. So another really sad bit from the series. This was just heartbreaking. It did a good job of starting off being really lighthearted, watching the penguins just shitting each other, and by the end you were just absolutely heartbroken because all these little penguin chicks are freezing to death. Really horrible. That one shot of the penguin chicks just shivering will stay with me. It's just really good. Again, really effective. I think most of my highlights have been ones that have hammered home the impacts of climate change. This was probably the most effective for me. And number 4, I've got the muskox and the grizzly bear. So this was brilliant. Again, a really good sequence. For starters, it was something new. You always see musk oxen getting attacked by wolves, and you kind of know the drill there. This was completely different because a bear's a much bigger threat. They can't really deal with it in the same way, and it was really disturbing watching the bear just kill all the calves, and the calves just walking right up to it and just basically walking right into the jaws of the beast. Really horrible to watch, and again, I've got to respect them because they had a lot of balls showing that. It was not an easy thing to watch, and it's not the sort of thing you see very often in series nowadays. So again, while it wasn't necessarily the nicest thing to watch, it was very good. Number 3, I've got the Harp Seals. The Harp Seals, for starters, are adorable. They're very nice. You don't see them very often in series, considering how well known and well liked they are. They don't pop up too much, but this was a very good sequence. For starters, the shots are amazing. The Harp Seal looks great, especially the underwater shots. They're great. But again, it also has a very good message to it. It shows you that these seals are really struggling and they're not going to be around forever. And the fact that the pup we follow in the sequence actually died in real life just after they filmed it is pretty horrible. It adds another layer to it. Number 2, I've got the golden eagles hunting goats. So this was amazing. Not so much because of the quality of the shots. The shots are mostly from a distance, but that absolutely plays into how effective it is. You get a good sense of how vast the landscape is through that. I obviously knew that golden eagles took young goats. That wasn't a huge surprise, though it was very good to see because I hadn't seen it before. But the fact that they took on the older goats was really impressive because they can't just simply lift them off. They've got to actually push them to the edge of the cliff. You really get a sense of the struggle, and you get a sense of how much danger the eagles are in as well, because they could easily damage a wing or die in the process. I didn't really know about that. So yeah, I was very happy to see that as well. It was a very nice surprise. And number 1, I've got the obvious one. I mean, I think we all know what it is. It's probably everyone's highlight, I would think, and that's the orcas. This was also my highlight from Frozen Planet, but it's a very different kind of sequence. It doesn't focus on the orcas being sadistic. The orcas very much are not the villains of this story. Instead, it focuses theories on how clever this is. Because this is a very clever hunt, it's probably the most complex hunt outside of humans in nature. It's very cool, but as the sequence goes on, it just gets more and more impressive because it doesn't play out the way it did in Frozen Planet. You don't see them going for Wed Seals because they can't really. You see them going for penguins and failing. You see them going for crab-eater seals and failing. You see them going for leopard seals. I mean, that was something I'd always wanted to see, but I didn't think I'd ever get to see. It was very, very good. As I say, I got giddy the first time I watched it. I was still really impressed the second time around. The music is tremendous in that sequence, as it is in the rest of the series. It's really good. It is the best part of the series. It's one of the best parts of many series, and it's just great. Again, I really, really like it. So yeah, those are my highlights for the series. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. But did you agree with me? Did you not? What were your highlights? Let me know. As ever, feel free to let me know what you want me to talk about next. Again, open to anything. Let me know. And yeah, as ever, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, or don't if you don't want it. It's perfectly fine. I will survive. And yeah, I'll see you next week. And goodbye.